Tonight, we start off by giving a rundown on the Auburn Ring tradition and SGA's voter registration initiative, as well as Beat Bama Food Drive's growth on campus. Then, we'll inform on an Auburn alum putting his skills into creating a war memorial, followed by a $25,000 scholarship awarded to 6 students. We'll also take a look nationally by updating you on Tropical Storm Ophelia's effects in North Carolina and the looming potential for a government shutdown. Finally, you'll get an Auburn update and the Pet of the Week. All of that and more coming up next on Eagle Eye's Monday News at 6. Good evening and welcome to Eagle Eye News at 6. I'm Joe Champagne.
And I'm MaKayla Kersh.
For many Auburn University juniors and seniors, it's just about time to become a part of Auburn Ring tradition. From the second floor of the Melton Student Center, Selena Alleman reports. Let's take a look.
It should come as no surprise that of one of the many traditions Auburn upholds, one can literally be wrapped around your finger. It's Ring Week here at Auburn University, and Balfour representatives are here to find you the perfect fit. The Auburn Ring tradition is a way to have a lasting reminder of the Auburn experience. The Student Government Association sponsors the ring so that students can have something other than their diploma to commemorate their achievements. This cherished Auburn tradition is one of great significance to upcoming graduates and alumni. SGA Assistant VP of Auburn Rings tells us more about the symbolicness of the ring.
The Auburn ring just represents just kind of the Auburn family, so it's just something that you can see every single day, and it just kind of symbolizes the importance of a family like the Auburn family.
The Auburn family is a rewarding one to be a part of, with memories and traditions that will last a lifetime. One student shared her excitement and expectations.
I just would like to have something that represents Auburn with me after I've graduated, that I can take with me into like my adult life. So I'm really excited about that.
After Ring Week, you can still place an order on the Balfour website, which can be accessed through the SGA website. You must place an order from now through October 1st to be included in the ring ceremony.
There is a ceremony, and it's ring night, so it's going to be on November 30th, and so it's just like really fun, and so you get to pick up your ring in an awesome box, and then you also get to go take pictures. You get to do the tradition part of it, so you get to pick up the curse and the Auburn spirit, and then wash away the curse too. So it's really fun, and lots of family, friends, pictures. So.
If you have 75 credit hours or more and are interested in being sized for a ring, the Balfour representatives and SGA members will be on the second floor of the Melton Student Center from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the rest of this week. Again, you can visit the SGA website for more information. For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Selena Alleman.
With National Voter Registration Day last week, SGA took to the Haley Concourse to educate students on the voter registration process. Allison Ferran reports.
Tuesday, September 19th was National Voter Registration Day, and Auburn SGA hosted its first voter registration drive on Haley Concourse.
Well, as registered voters ourselves, we really just emphasize taking advantage of your civic duty and using your rights in this country.
And you can see the direct impact that your vote makes not only on a national level, but all the way down to your local city.
Auburn University SGA members describe the importance of registering to vote to the organization and to the university.
I think it's important that SGA does this specifically because seeing students firsthand that you know, people that you recognize, advocating for something as important as voter registration, it makes it more personal.
It's important for Auburn students to register to vote because it's part of our civic duty, and through this drive you have the opportunity to register here in Lee County so that you don't have to go all the way home to vote.
SGA will host another voter registration drive on October 5th and 6th. This is Allison Ferran for Eagle Eye TV.
Kicking off their 30th food drive against the University of Alabama, the Beat Bama Food Drive team is hard at work preparing for this year's competition. Zach Card has more details.
Beat Bama Food Drive has been fighting hunger with the East Alabama Food Bank for 30 years now. Taking on the University of Alabama and the West Alabama Food Bank, both schools have 7 weeks to collect as much non-perishable food items as they can to beat their cross-state rival. Year after year, the food drive has grown, and last year they donated over 550,000 pounds of food, and together both schools combined for over 1 million pounds to fight food insecurity.
You look at our past 3-4 years, it's been exponential in growth, just as regards to numbers in itself. So that's been exciting.
This year, the organization hopes to be able to donate even more.
I haven't really put a number on it yet. Our team has just been kind of, go as big as possible. We've continuously done that in the past. So any number that we set, we always end up overshooting it anyway.
The food drive kicks off on Friday, September 29th with an event on the Haley Concourse.
You can see some of the energy even outside of our meetings. That's something we're really bringing this year, is the energy to concourse. The best way to spread your mission is through awareness, and so that's something that we've pushed, and our campus team has been really great in planning a lot of good events. We have a dunk tank coming out that I'll be in, so look forward to being in that. But really just making people aware that, hey, we're starting today, and this is a 7-week mission. Yeah.
Curious on what to donate? VP of Outreach Jenna Baldwin has just what they want.
Yeah, so anything that weighs a lot in terms of weight and poundage. So peanut butter weighs a lot, big cans of green beans, any canned foods, anything like that.
If you want to help the Tigers take down Alabama off the field, then you can go to aub.ie/bbfd to show your support. The food drive ends on November 16th, a week and a half before the Iron Bowl. For Eagle Eye TV, I'm Zach Card.
When we return from this short break, we'll tell you all about an Architecture Alums War on Terror Memorial and Auburn earning a top spot amongst 100 colleges in the nation. You're watching Eagle Eye News at 6.
Class of 1980 Auburn alum Marlon Blackwell has put his education to good use. His latest project, a memorial for those lost in the War on Terror. Eagle Eye's Zach Card had the chance to discuss it with him.
I think the tenets of the memorial, which is to honor, to heal, to empower, and to unify, I think are worthy aspirations for the memorial, and something that I think if we listen carefully, I think if we act boldly and reverently, I think we can make a place where that will honor those that served and the people that were impacted. There are those over 10,000 that died, both service members and civilian contractors, as well as the many that returned but were injured, or either physically or mentally, or just were impacted, their families and all of that.
Evaluated among 400 universities across the country, Auburn University has once again made its way onto the U.S. News and World Report's Best Colleges edition. Rising 4 spots since its inclusion in last year's list, the school ranked number 93 as one of the top 100 universities in the nation, as well as number 47 among the country's top 50 public institutions. With record high enrollment rate for the largest freshman class in Auburn University history, several institutions were acknowledged as well. Auburn University President Christopher Roberts spoke on the rankings, highlighting Auburn's mission. While these rankings certainly reflect the extensive and exceptional efforts of our faculty and staff to deliver innovative academic programs, they also reflect our institution's commitment to improving real and measurable student outcomes. To read this year's institutional rankings, check out usnews.com/colleges.
6 Auburn University students were awarded a scholarship from the American Society of Safety Professionals, totaling $25,000. The ASSP Foundation Scholarship was created with the intention of helping students involved in occupational safety. Recipients include Lucy Outlaw, Bob Sessick, Ivan Neal, Emmanuel Winful, Victoria Ballard, and Allison Short. Congratulations, everyone. When we come back, we'll inform you of the potential government shutdown in the U.S., followed by an update on Tropical Storm Ophelia. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
The deadline for a government shutdown is days away, and Washington, D.C. is preparing for the worst. Federal departments and agencies have started the process of bringing a halt to non-essential functions. But if a shutdown does in fact happen, many other areas will also be affected. John Lorink reports.
The clock is ticking on Congress to pass a deal that will fund the government, but with less than a week to go, there's still no deal in sight to avert a shutdown. During a call with the Republican conference Saturday afternoon, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy pushed members to rally behind a short-term spending bill.
I think we've made some progress to those who have been holding up passing the rule to get onto these bills.
President Joe Biden weighed in on the quickly approaching shutdown deadline over the weekend, calling on House Republicans to, quote, start doing the job.
Funding the government is one of those basic responsibilities of Congress. And it's time for Republicans to start doing the job America elected them to do.
Should Congress fail to pass a short-term spending bill to keep the proverbial lights on, a shutdown could have enormous impacts on all Americans, which both sides agree would be harmful.
We're going to make sure that we can get a vote done, and that means getting the support of both sides to the table.
We're going to do whatever we need to do our job to keep the government open, because our districts, and Josh's as well, our district wants us to keep America running.
But that path has proved difficult. A number of GOP hardliners are opposed to any short-term spending solution. Their Republican colleagues drawing a line, calling out those responsible for the failed negotiations.
The arsonists have lit their house on fire. They're whining about their house burning. They're going to want credit for putting the fire out, and then they're going to set up a GoFundMe to get paid for what happened.
I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
Tropical storm Ophelia is heading up the East Coast after making landfall near Emerald Isle, North Carolina early Saturday. Heavy rain, strong winds, and coastal flooding are lashing parts of the East Coast. Thousands of people are without power, and warnings stretch from the Carolinas to New York. Rob Kirkpatrick has the latest.
Tropical storm Ophelia roared ashore early Saturday morning in North Carolina, with winds just shy of hurricane strength. The storm brought maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour as it made landfall in North Carolina. States of emergency were declared in Virginia, North Carolina, and Maryland as Ophelia moved north along the mid-Atlantic.
You've got several flood watches and even some flash flood warnings in Raleigh and then off towards the east. In these locations, they've already picked up about 2 to 3 inches of rain. Now you're going to get an additional 1 to 2 inches on top of that. So there is the continued concern for the flood threat going forward.
Storm surge of more than 3 feet battered North Carolina, closing some roadways. U.S. Coast Guard rescued 5 people, including 3 children, that were aboard a 38-foot catamaran in Cape Lookout, North Carolina.
Oh, perfect.
Ophelia's rain band stretched hundreds of miles from its center, and the storm is bringing heavy rain to a large swath of the mid-Atlantic, including Virginia, where concerns about storm surge have business owners concerned about flooding.
The river's going to swell. It's going to rain all night. So when it swells up, high tide, that's going to back up. So yeah, we'll probably get it to the door.
Along with heavy rain and wind, tens of thousands of people remain without power. This power line exploding in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. Ophelia is expected to bring wind gusts of between 40 and 70 miles per hour throughout the day that could down trees and power lines. I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
5 Farmingdale, New York high school band students remain hospitalized in critical condition after a fatal bus crash killed their marching band director and another chaperone Thursday. New York State Police say 22 students have been released from the hospital. Now, state police are asking anyone who witnessed the crash to come forward. And as Emily Schmidt reports, 7 federal investigators are joining the search into what went wrong.
National Transportation Safety Board investigator John Hum says he will spend the next week studying what caused this bus to leave I-84 and plunge around 50 feet.
Our goal is to find out what happened, why it happened, and to make safety recommendations to reduce the chance that this sort of accident never happens again.
Dozens of students were injured. Band director Gina Pelletieri and retired teacher Beatrice Ferrari did not survive.
All I saw was a horrific scene.
We had numerous victims,
We had a bust down an embankment.
Authorities said Thursday a preliminary investigation suggests a faulty front tire may have contributed to the crash. NTSB investigators say it's too early to know more. Investigators will focus on 3 elements: the vehicle, the motor carrier and driver, whom Hum says the NTSB has not yet interviewed, and the crashworthiness of the bus.
It's still too early at this point to know what the seatbelt usage was for both the driver and the victims, the occupants in the vehicle, but that's something that I'll specifically be looking at.
Hum says this kind of bus typically has dash cameras, but it's uncertain if there are recordings here. One of the first responders says he won't forget what he saw. A community member says they won't forget what first responders did.
A heartfelt thanks to everybody up in Orange County. They saved our kids' lives.
I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
When we come back, we'll give you the sports update from last week with Lydia Welborn. You're watching Eagle Eye TV, Auburn's news leader.
Welcome back to Eagle Eye News. I'm Lydia Welborn, here with your quick fix of all things Auburn sports. It was a busy week for the soccer, volleyball, and football teams. Starting off with women's soccer, the Battle of the Tigers. The Auburn Tigers defeated the Missouri Tigers 3-2 last Thursday. This is Auburn's first SEC win of the season. Fifth-year Sydney Richards was the star of the show, scoring the first goal and the game winner. Yesterday, the Tigers visited Ole Miss and tied the game 0-0, a true defensive showcase from both sides. The women's volleyball team hosted the Florida Gators last Friday. Auburn's offense started strong while also holding a steady defense against the number 3 Gators, but sadly succumbed to a 2-3 loss after a hard-fought match. But to get things back on track, the Tigers defeated the Ole Miss Rebels 3-1, securing their first SEC win yesterday. The Tigers had nearly a perfect third set with the help of key players Akasha Anderson, Jackie Barrett, and Madison Shear to get back in the win column. Now, closing with football, our Auburn Tigers visited College Station last Saturday to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. The Tigers' SEC first opener. A fumble return and a field goal accounted for Auburn's points in their 10-27 loss. The first half was well held up by both defenses, but the third quarter into the fourth was driven by the Aggies. Nevertheless, Coach Freeze and the Tigers returned to the Plains this Saturday for the Deep South's oldest rivalry against the Georgia Bulldogs. We can't wait to be back in Jordan-Hare this Saturday. Well, that's about all we have for y'all tonight. Make sure to stay up to date on all things Auburn sports by following our Twitter at EETV_sports and by visiting our website, eagleeyeauburn.com. Good night and War Eagle.
Hollywood writers are officially off the picket lines today and could be back at work as early as this week. The major film and television studios and striking writers reached a tentative agreement on Sunday. Now it needs to be ratified by the members of the Writers Guild of America. Ivan Rodriguez explains what's next.
A crowd of Hollywood writers burst into celebration as word spreads of a tentative agreement with the major studios.
We're trying to save writers' ability to pay their rent, to pay for a mortgage, to put kids through school, to save for a rainy day.
It's a significant turning point for the nearly 5-month-long strike. Days of marathon negotiating sessions began last week once the CEOs of 4 major studios actively joined the conversation.
I feel like they realize, like, oh, I actually need to be present and actually hear what the writers and our workers are saying, because I don't think they really thought we were serious.
The deal still needs to be ratified, but the WGA released a statement saying they could authorize members to return to work before that, when leadership meets on Tuesday. Daytime and late-night talk shows will likely be the first to return to your screens, but most other major productions will have to wait for their actors. SAG-AFTRA, representing about 160,000 actors, also hit the picket lines mid-July. There is hope that the studio's agreement with the writers will also allow it to reach a deal with the actors.
This is a really significant window of opportunity these next couple of weeks. If we were able to get back to the table and talk, there's a small possibility you could get things into production before the holidays.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
An amazing journey to the bottom of the ocean revealed new insights on the final moments of 3 different doomed ships in one of World War II's biggest battles. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Watch explorers get an up-close look at not 1, but 3 sunken World War II aircraft carriers in stunning detail. The expedition, led by the Ocean Exploration Trust, offered an unprecedented examination of the carriers lost in the massive Battle of Midway in 1942. Researchers say they were able to survey one Japanese carrier, the Akagi, for the very first time since it went down. The underwater mission was live-streamed to the public and benefited from insights from more than 100 participating experts worldwide. The study could offer new details about the vessel's final moments in the pivotal battle. And now to a surprise revealed not by going down in the water, but by the water going down. Tower Rock, a formation in the Mississippi River, normally reachable only by boat, is now accessible by foot due to severe drought levels. The plummeting water line has made this the 2nd year in a row that local looky-loos and intrepid trekkers can make this rare rock walk without getting their feet wet. Finally, take a look at what's believed to be the oldest fish in an aquarium anywhere in the world. That's according to the California Academy of Sciences, which says this Australian lungfish was brought to Steinhardt Aquarium in San Francisco in 1938 and has outlived all other fish brought there before World War II. Appropriately named Methuselah after an infamously old biblical figure, the fish is estimated to be around 92 years old and is described by aquarium officials as charming. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
The living embodiment of pure, unadulterated joy. Meet our new pet of the week, Kanga. With an endless capacity for fun and innocence behind his sweet eyes, Kanga is a furry friend sure to bring endless laughter and heartwarming moments into anyone's life. Kanga is spayed and neutered. Adopt him and experience the sheer joy of a playful spirit that's ready to brighten your day.
We're out of time, but for more Auburn news, head over to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, and check out our social media pages. I'm MaKayla Kersh.
And I'm Joe Champagne. Thank you for tuning in, and War Eagle.